Gas stations across England ran dry after a weekend of panic buying as supply chain issues triggered by a trucker shortage deepen. Energy supplies are also tight in China, with Beijing cracking down on electricity use, causing key supplies for Apple and Tesla to have halted production. And this energy crunch has prices surging to the highest levels in nearly 3 years. WTI, our U.S. crude, is up for a fifth straight day. The international Brent crude nearing $80 a barrel. Natural gas up another 7% today and up 50% this quarter. Joining me now to discuss is John Kilduff. He is the founding partner of Again Capital and a CNBC contributor. John, I have a simple question for you. Is energy going to go the way of lumber, which had a huge spike to the upside and collapsed, or is it going to stay permanently higher?
No, Kelly, we always have ups and downs, booms and busts in this market. It's a true commodity market, although lumber is probably the most extreme commodity out there. If you ever want to get your head handed to you, try to trade that. I can tell you that right now. But no, but we are in a phenomenon, I'll call it right now, where all energy molecules are becoming increasingly dear. We have somehow, in a very short amount of time, gone from a period of relative oversupply to one of undersupply right now, especially as it relates to crude oil, which we can move around the world, and even more acutely for natural gas, which is really siloed to each and every country.
And that was what was so peculiar about the fuel issues in Britain, is that no one was warning about shortages of gasoline or diesel in their case. It was a truck driver issue. You know, the real shortages, if you want to call it that, are on the natural gas side. What's going to happen this winter? I mean, with prices already where they are, do they just continue to go parabolic until what? I mean, is this all going to somehow need to incentivize more production? I mean, imagine people gathering for the COP26 meeting next month, where they're going to lay out, you know, these ambitious clean energy and climate goals, and people are going to be screaming about the price of fossil fuels and wondering to what extent policymakers are to blame.
Well, I'll tell you, Kelly, I hope this is an early warning signal to them to be very careful. The energy mix is highly important. It's crucial. It's critical to the global economy and the welfare of everyone. You know, does us no good to save the planet if you're going to freeze to death in the winter for a lack of natural gas, for example. So this is becoming an increasingly important issue, because what you're already seeing from these pressures, these climate change pressures, the ESG pressures, is that there's a chill in the industry, literally and figuratively, pardon the pun, but they're not rushing to drill. They are scuttling longer-term plans to drill for more oil and natural gas because of the pressures they're feeling. And that is making every then barrel of oil, every molecule of gas that's in the pipeline, all the more valuable, all the more expensive, because there's a lot less behind it now.
Yeah.
And so we're sowing the seeds of a real bad energy future.
So I'm curious, obviously we have a lot of liquefied natural gas supply here in the U.S. The U.S. is one of the biggest natural gas producers in the world. We have more options now to send that gas into global markets than ever. We haven't been in a situation where policymakers and politicians are used to the narratives that they bring out when oil is expensive and high, and we have the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and all the rest of it. What are they going to do about natural gas? Do you think they come out and ban LNG exports or talk about it? Or, you know, I'm curious what political dynamic we should expect here in the U.S. And again, we're in a relatively better situation. It's everywhere else that the prices are up way higher than they are in our own country, and it seems to all come down to Russia. Where are their supplies?
Well, you're right about the Europeans and their dependency on Russia. It's a heck of a bad place to be in. As far as the U.S. goes, you will definitely see the idea that LNG exports should be halted this winter, at least mentioned or touted, because that's how tight things are likely to get. We ourselves, the United States, is going into the upcoming winter with the lowest amount of natural gas in storage since about 2014. And we're going to be very tight. When we went through this the last time with natural gas, way back when in the 70s, as I was looking into it, it caused schools to shut. It caused factories to shut. So everyone could basically shelter in place during that harsh 1978 winter.
Wow.
And keep the available gas we had for heating homes. So this is going to be a major issue this winter. What will probably happen, though, Kelly, much like we see all the time with gasoline, where the pricing, the worst case scenario gets priced in before the season,
right,
will likely happen again. So we'll see another big spike, another rally here in natural gas prices as we get into late November, early December, early season cold snap. And then we fall potentially like a cliff back down in prices, so we can reassess then where we're at in terms of overall supply and demand.